Hi, everyone. I'm Josh. Welcome back to Learn English Podcast 360. Today's story is about something many people learn too late. Nothing in life is truly free. Sometimes we think success only needs hard work. Sometimes we believe we can give up sleep, time, love, and even our happiness for a better future. But life is quiet. It does not always stop us right away. Instead, it slowly takes small things from us day after day, while we are too busy to notice. And today's story is about a man named Ethan. Ethan was 29 years old. He worked in a large office in the middle of a busy city. Every morning, he woke up before the sun came up. He drank quick coffee, wore the same dark jacket, and rushed to work with hundreds of tired people on the train. His life looked successful from the outside. He had a good job, a nice apartment, a stable salary, and people often said, "Wow, Ethan is doing really well." But nobody saw the quiet part of his life. Nobody saw him eating dinner alone at midnight. Nobody saw him falling asleep with his laptop still open. Nobody saw the long nights when he sat silently in front of a computer screen while rain touched the office windows outside. One night, Ethan stayed late again. The office was almost empty. Only a few lights were still on. The sound of keyboards filled the quiet room. Outside, soft rain fell from the dark sky. Ethan looked tired. His eyes hurt. His neck felt heavy. But he kept working. Then his phone lit up. One message from his mother. "Did you eat dinner?" Another message came from his girlfriend, Lily. "You forgot our call again." Ethan looked at the screen for a few seconds. Then he slowly put the phone down beside his coffee cup and continued typing. He told himself the same thing he always said, "I'm busy right now. I'll talk to them later." But later never really came. Sometimes life changes very quietly, not in one big moment, but in small choices we repeat every single day, and Ethan did not know it yet. But those small choices were slowly changing his whole life. A few years earlier, Ethan had moved to the city with a dream. He wanted success. He wanted money. He wanted a better future for himself and his family. At first, everything felt exciting. The tall buildings, the bright lights, the fast life. Ethan remembered standing in the middle of the city on his first night there. Cars moved everywhere. People walked quickly beside him. The city felt alive. And he smiled. "This is where my life will change," he thought. Back then, Ethan was full of hope. He worked harder than everyone around him. When coworkers went home, Ethan stayed longer. When people rested on weekends, Ethan opened his laptop. When friends invited him out, he often said, "Sorry, maybe next time." At first, it felt normal. He believed hard work was the answer to everything. "If I work harder now," he told himself, "my future will be perfect." And honestly, many people around him believed the same thing. His manager liked him because he never complained. His co-workers respected him because he worked so much. Little by little, Ethan became the reliable guy in the office. Need extra work? Ask Ethan. Need someone to stay late? Ask Ethan. Need help on weekends? Ethan will do it. At first, he felt proud of this. It made him feel important. But slowly, work became his entire life. His apartment became only a place to sleep. Some nights he came home so tired that he did not even turn on the lights. He simply sat on the edge of his bed and stared at the floor in silence. Sometimes success looks beautiful from far away. But when you stand too close to it, you start seeing the cost. Months passed, then years. and small things in Ethan's life slowly began to break. Lily noticed it first. One evening, they sat together at a small restaurant near her apartment. Soft music played in the background. People laughed quietly around them. But Ethan was not really there. His eyes stayed on his phone. His mind stayed at work. Lily looked at him for a long moment before speaking softly. "You're here?" "But not really here." Ethan looked up. "What do you mean?" he asked. "You always look tired," she said quietly. "Even when we are together, your mind is somewhere else." Ethan sighed. "I'm just busy right now," he answered. "Things will get better soon." But Lily did not smile, because deep inside she already knew something Ethan did not understand yet. Busy can slowly become a way of losing people. A few days later, Ethan's mother called him during lunch break. He looked at the phone, smiled a little. But then another work message appeared on his screen. He answered quickly. "Hi, Mom. Sorry, I'm busy right now. I'll call you later." His mother paused for 1 second. Then she said softly, "Okay, take care of yourself." That night, Ethan forgot to call back. And honestly, this happened many times. Meanwhile, Ethan's body also started changing. He slept less. He ate fast food almost every day. His head often hurt, and sometimes, late at night, he sat alone in the office feeling strangely empty. But he ignored all of it, because he believed one thing very strongly. This is the price of success. Then one Friday afternoon, something happened. The company held a meeting. Everyone gathered in a large room. Ethan sat quietly near the back. Then his manager smiled and called his name. "Employee of the Year, Ethan Carter." People clapped loudly. Some co-workers cheered. Ethan stood up slowly and walked to the front of the room. His manager shook his hand proudly. "You worked harder than anyone this year," he said. For one moment, Ethan felt happy. Maybe all the long nights were finally worth it. Maybe this was success. But later that night, Ethan returned home alone. The apartment was dark and silent. No messages from Lily, no missed calls from friends. Only the soft sound of traffic outside his window. Ethan placed the award on the kitchen table and sat down quietly in the darkness. He looked at the small golden trophy for a long time. Then he whispered softly to himself, "Why don't I feel happy?" Outside, rain slowly touched the window again, and for the first time in many years, Ethan started to feel something strange inside his heart. Not failure, not sadness exactly, just emptiness. The next morning, Ethan woke up later than usual. His award still sat quietly on the table. For a moment, he looked at it again, but this time, it did not feel exciting anymore. It was strange. Just yesterday, this award felt so important. Now it only looked cold and empty. Ethan rubbed his tired eyes and checked his phone. Several work emails. 2 missed calls from his manager. 1 message from Lily. "We need to talk." Ethan stared at the message for a few seconds but did not answer. Instead, he grabbed his jacket and rushed to work again. The city outside looked gray and wet after the rain. Cars moved slowly through the busy streets. People walked quickly with coffee cups in their hands. Everything looked normal. But deep inside, Ethan felt tired in a way he could not explain. That evening, the office became quiet again. Most people had already gone home. Only the soft sound of rain touched the windows. Ethan kept working, typing, reading, answering emails. Then suddenly his phone rang. He looked at the screen. Unknown number. At first he almost ignored it, but something inside him felt strange. So he answered, "Hello?" A calm voice spoke from the other side. "Hello, is this Ethan Carter?" "Yes?" "I'm calling from St. Mary Hospital. Your mother was brought here earlier tonight." Ethan froze. For 1 second, he could not breathe. "What happened?" he asked quickly. "She became weak at home. Right now she is stable, but you should come if possible." Ethan stood up so fast that his chair moved loudly across the floor. His hands started shaking. Outside, rain was falling heavily again. A few minutes later, Ethan drove through the dark streets as fast as he could. The city lights looked blurry through the rain on his windshield. His heart beat hard in his chest. And for the first time in many years, work was no longer the most important thing in his mind. Only one thought stayed inside him. Please be okay. At a red light, Ethan suddenly remembered something. 3 weeks earlier, his mother had called him one Sunday morning. He was working on his laptop at the time. "Hi, Mom," he said quickly. "Are you busy?" she asked softly. "Yeah, a little." His mother became quiet for a second before speaking again. "I just wanted to hear your voice." Ethan remembered looking at the clock impatiently. "I'll call you tonight, okay?" But that night never came. Now sitting alone in his car while rain hit the windows, Ethan slowly closed his eyes. And for the first time, he felt afraid, really afraid. When Ethan finally arrived at the hospital, the building was quiet and cold. The white lights hurt his tired eyes. A nurse guided him down a long hallway. His footsteps sounded heavy against the floor. Then she stopped in front of a small room. "Your mother is resting," she whispered gently. Ethan nodded slowly and walked inside. The room was dark except for one soft light near the bed. His mother was asleep. She looked smaller, older too. Ethan stood there silently for a moment. Then he slowly sat beside her bed. And that was when he noticed her hands. Her hands looked thin and tired. The same hands that once held his when he was a child. The same hands that made dinner for him every night. The same hands that worked hard for many years so he could have a better life. Ethan looked down quietly, and suddenly memories started returning one after another. His mother waiting at the dinner table while he texted, "Sorry, Mom, I'm busy." His mother calling him during lunch breaks. His mother asking, "Are you sleeping enough? Did you eat today?" And every time Ethan answered the same way. "I'm busy. I'll call later. Maybe next week." Sometimes we think love will wait forever, but time never waits. Ethan sat there for a long time in silence. The machines near the bed made soft sounds in the quiet room. Outside, rain still touched the hospital windows. Then slowly his mother opened her eyes. She looked surprised to see him there. "Ethan?" she whispered weakly. Ethan quickly moved closer. "Mom, I'm here." His mother gave a small, tired smile. "You came." Those two simple words broke something inside him. Ethan looked down, trying hard not to cry. "I'm sorry," he whispered softly. His mother looked at him carefully for a moment. Then she gently touched his hand. And quietly, almost like a mother speaking to a child again, she said, "You work too much." That was all. No anger, no blame, no long speech. Just those 4 words. And somehow, that hurt Ethan more than anything else. Because deep inside, he knew she was right. For years, he thought he was building a better future. But now he started asking himself a painful question. What if I am losing the most important things while trying to build that future? That night, Ethan did not leave the hospital. He sat quietly beside his mother while she slept. And for the first time in many years, he stopped thinking about work. Instead, he looked around the hospital. In one corner, a tired father slept in a chair beside his child. Near the window, a young woman held her grandmother's hand quietly. Down the hallway, an old man sat completely alone, staring at the floor. Everyone there wanted the same thing. More time. Just a little more time. And suddenly, Ethan understood something simple but powerful. Money can buy many things. A better apartment, a faster car, nice clothes, expensive dinners. But money cannot buy time back. It cannot bring back missed dinners, missed calls, missed moments. And that truth hit Ethan hard. Near midnight, Ethan slowly opened his laptop out of habit. The bright screen filled the dark room. New emails appeared immediately. Work messages, deadlines, meetings. For a few seconds, he stared at them silently. Then slowly, he closed the laptop. Not because work was bad, but because he finally understood something important. Success also has a price, and sometimes the price is too high. Over the next few weeks, small things in Ethan's life began to change. Not in a dramatic way, not overnight, but slowly, quietly, like sunrise after a long night. He started having dinner with his mother more often. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes they simply sat together in silence. And honestly, those quiet moments felt warmer than any office award. Ethan also started walking more slowly through the city. For years, he rushed everywhere without noticing anything. Now he noticed small things again. The sound of birds in the morning, the smell of coffee from small street shops, the evening light on apartment windows. Life suddenly felt less empty. One afternoon, Ethan called Lily. "I know I made mistakes," he said honestly. There was silence for a moment. Then Lily answered softly, "I just wanted you to be present." And for the first time in a long while, Ethan truly listened.